Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. This is an exciting episode for me because I am a huge fan of this actress in the movie. I love her work and her co-star's work. But the name of the movie is called Deathgasm, and is one of my favorite all-time comedy horrors that I've seen in a very, very long time. Even though it came out in 2015, the movie was just directed so well, written well, and the actors just blew my mind away. Phenomenal acting. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox now because I'm nervous, I'm starstruck, I'm tongue tied because I am sitting down with Kimberley Crossman, who plays Medina Darcy in Deathgasm alongside Milo and who is also starring in the sequel Deathgasm to Goremageddon, which is slated to release sometime this fall, from what I understand. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I'm nervous and bring in my guests. Kimberly, welcome to the shows. Thank you very much. How the hell are you doing?
Yay! Thank you, babe. What an intro. My gosh. I am so good. I have been so looking forward to doing this with you. I listened to Milo's episode as well. He's such a legend. So I guess first of all, from me, thank you for having me and thank you for your support for our little New Zealand indie film that could, so much so that we got to do it all again. So I'm really appreciative.
No, the honor and pleasure is all mine. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the movie. It just the first time I saw the movie, I could not stop laughing. It is so good. So, and the okay, I'm glad this is the 18 plus YouTube channel. The anal beads and the sex toys. Jesus Christ,
Good. You know,
perfect for the movie.
I had never even seen any sex toys before I shot Deathgasm because I was young. Like I was like, oh my gosh. I remember going to the bathroom at my like audition at the production house and there was like this massive dildo stuck to the like mirror and I was like, what movie am I in? Like it's perfect. It's so funny. I mean, Death by Dildo, we should be doing more of it. I think it's hilarious.
I totally agree. Before we get started, a quick synopsis about the film. For those who have not seen it, who want to know, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to tell you anyway. Um,
Yeah, they're
so
gonna
the
be really confused now. They're like, wait, what is it? Yeah.
so the first movie, Deathgasm, released in 2015, is about the new kid in town, Brody, played by Mila Cawthorn, and bad boy Zach, which is another phenomenal actor, by the way, swiftly bond over their shared admiration of heavy metal. But when these two metal thrashing losers get together, they unintentionally summon malevolent forces, and their dreams of stardom may just have been put on hold. I mean, that's how I would sum the movie up. Even though it's a little over 90 minutes, really good movie. Like I said, the storyline is great. The acting is phenomenal. It was written so well. Even though it was filmed in New Zealand and it's an independent film, Jesus Christ, I love this movie. It's in my top 10. I love it so much. So yeah.
It's
Um.
cool.
Anyway, please, if you could, God, just tell me to shut up. If I talk too much, please, because I will talk too much.
It's a podcast. You're allowed to talk as much as you want. That's why everyone's here to listen to you. You're
But
amazing.
we're here to talk about you and your character in the film. Um. Yeah. So if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Deathgasm.
Oh my gosh. So I am an actress from New Zealand. I started my career on a show called Shortland Street, which is equivalent in the US probably to like what you would call a daytime soap, except it's on prime time television in New Zealand. Um, I was on that for 7 years. I moved to America to chase the Hollywood dream, and I got asked to audition for this role. I believe originally one of the producers had actually wanted to cast one of my amazing friends, Anna Hutchinson, who's also a fantastic Power Ranger New Zealand actress. And she, I believe, was unavailable. So they auditioned a few people, and I was fortunate enough to get the role. Now, this was my first movie. I'd done a lot of TV, but it was my first film. And I was so excited, mainly just because as an actor, like when you're working in TV, your storyline's ever evolving. This idea of coming and doing a film, I was a huge like Tomb Raider fan and wanted to be like a badass chick. So the fact that I got to like wear Doc Martens and like wield an axe was just like, oh my gosh, I was chomping at the bit. So I did the audition. I met with one of the original producers, Andrew and Jason, and had coffee. And they kind of shared like what they had wanted for the role. And I remember being really nervous. But then Jason's a really nervous person too. So we were kind of like matching nervousness, and it was really sweet. And I I just remember the whole experience loving it. I remember driving home from set at like, because we did a lot of night shoots at like 3 or 4 in the morning, covered in blood, like fake blood, which is like a sugary syrup. And just like my mum panicking that I was going to get pulled over and look like I'd caused like some massacre or something like this. But it was just so exciting, like to do so much with so many practical effects, be covered in blood, like them trying to repeat the blood splatter on my face every day, which is so it was like continuity. And then learning with the stunt team sort of how to wield an axe, how to look like I knew what I was doing, which as a dancer, I'm pretty uncoordinated at those kind of things. So it did take a lot of training for me to really get confident. Um, and I just, yeah, that's kind of how I came into doing it. And I don't think any of us anticipated at the time the reach and the community that it would have plugged into. And I'll just carry on for a little bit longer. Sorry, now I'm the one talking too much. But I will say I didn't have a lot of touch points to the heavy metal community prior to that. I had a lot of preconceived ideas of what it was. I'm sort of like a bubbly pop type person. So I think I had ideas of what the heavy metal community was. I think aesthetically it looked a bit scary for me. It looked a little dark. I didn't find myself relating to it in my real life. And it was the best experience to have that preconceived ideas completely flipped on their head. That this was like a community of misfits who are so generous, who would show up, who would work long hours just to be part of it, who are loyal to the music. It made me understand this whole like dealing with your emotions in like a really visceral kind of way so they're out of your body rather than what a lot of us do, which is just suppress and keep it down and one day explode. So I think for me, it was a real education into the heavy metal community and just to feel so welcomed and understand it at such a beautiful level that really flipped my whole experience. And I think that's really cool too, like coming into something not being a fan and leaving loyal as hell. Like the fact in the second movie, we get to work with Matt Heafy, who's just a phenomenal person in the community. That was so fucking cool. So yeah, kind of a long-winded way of answering your question, but kind of coming from one side, doing this film in 2014, 2015, and now 10 years later, feeling part of it is pretty cool.
Well said. Thank you so much.
Sorry, the longest answer.
So, no, no,
I could
no.
talk about this
So,
movie forever.
I know. So could I. I mean, I talk to friends about it all the time because when they say they hadn't seen Deathgasm, I tell them that's very unacceptable. They need to watch it now. So,
Good.
it's,
Happy to hear that.
but I'm one second. I'm going to brag about you real quick and other actresses in New Zealand. Um, like Mother Cawthorn and Lauren O'Hara, who's in Hard Eyes. She's also from New Zealand, and so is Amy Donald, who plays Megan. They're
Mhm.
all from New Zealand, which I'm going to brag because obviously very talented actors and actresses come out of New Zealand. So, I mean, you guys are taking over. I have no problem with that. I'm actually prefer New Zealand actors because of watching the movies. So my fans are probably hating saying that. I don't give a shit. But anyway,
We'll
it's
take it.
it's
We are
it's
the best.
it's
Thank you,
it's
Vince.
very yes, absolutely anytime because of very talented actors. And I forgot who else who was in Hard Eyes. Alex somebody who dies at the beginning. He's also from New Zealand also. So
Okay.
yeah. And
And pretty much
another
every Power Ranger as well. Not that I know if there's many Power Ranger fans that cross over into your world, but maybe.
yeah, and there's another movie called Godless the Exorcism of somebody. I talked to another female actress. She's also from New Zealand. All very good movies, all very talented movies. I'm gonna shut up and move on. Next question.
You're
So
great.
so in the first installment of Deathgasm, how much of Medina did you bring in yourself, or did you just follow the scripts?
Oh, great question. I think I always bring a bit of myself. I think my quirks, kind of like my comedic timing, I think that was stuff that wasn't necessarily all on the page. I think a little bit of heart to, I don't know. I like to think that I take what's on the page and elevate it a little bit, inject a bit of Kim into it. I would say Medina's more badass than me. I don't know if I would be lurking in like derelict buildings fighting demonic monsters. I'm not sure that that would be what Kim would do. I'd probably call the police or some authorities. But I like that. That's the best part about being an actor is kind of like stepping outside of yourself and taking some of the pieces of you with it. But ultimately, I think too, I was probably at that stage of playing Medina in a bit of a rebellion phase myself. So I think it kind of like helped lean into it. I know that I was listening to a lot of like, oh my gosh, why am I just gonna blank on her name? Pretty reckless kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just because I kind of liked how she had her hair and I liked her on Gossip Girl, but I loved that she kind of like moved into sort of more rock kind of culture, but I kind of took a bit of inspiration from her style aesthetically. Um, yeah, and I remember just like listening to her music quite a bit just to kind of like ground me because I have a much more up energy sort of than Medina's a little bit more grounded and cool and sure of herself. So, uh, yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me filming was the smoking scene. I've never smoked in my life, so I had to like really practice looking like I knew what I was doing and not trying to bum puff it. And like that was probably one of the hardest challenges for me because I don't know if you've ever smoked herbal cigarettes, which are what they usually use on set, but they taste rank. So that was a big challenge for me to try and look cool while I was smoking.
I can actually say yes, I've tried smoking herbal cigarettes before when I was a smoker. Very disgusting. It's
That's
just
gross. Hey, and the smell doesn't leave you. It gets like cemented in your skin. It stays with you for days. Yeah, that was probably one of the challenges and something I had to do in the second movie too, um, which was hilarious. I'm still no better at it. That can be something for like was it the looking for Easter eggs? Just my attempt at looking like I can smoke.
well, thankfully I quit 12 years ago, so it's all
Okay.
good. I mean,
Well, hopefully
I mean,
I don't spark a resurgence.
no
I don't do it
relapses,
very
Cam. No
sexy, so
relapses.
I think you'll be okay. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So compared to the first movie, and the sequel, which is coming out this year, how would how would you see Medina as a person? How much did she change?
Oh my gosh. So I can't spoiler alert, probably the biggest change in Medina, which Brody doesn't notice either, but the audience will be like, he's an idiot, which is really fun. So there is a bit of change in that. I think too, we were trying to like fill in a bit of the gaps because there is comic books that fall in between the two films as well. So there is a little bit of character growth that happens in there. But the best thing about working with Jason, he's, the writer, director, mastermind behind it all. Um, you can always ask him anything. So if there, it is 10 years on, so there is some character growth, but at its core too, we're all just still kind of kids trying to find our way. So I think that fans will be sequels are tough, right? And I think that fans are going to be so joyous about how the sequel works and then some of the additional redonkulous characters that we have to engage with. It's just as funny. It's just as gory, if not more. It's like everything's just elevated slightly in this next installment.
Well, the more you talk about it, the more I'm excited I'm about it. So,
No,
and
and I
I
suck at keeping
cannot
secrets.
wait.
So I'm like trying to choose my words very carefully.
So you mentioned earlier how you had to wear Doc Martens, to swing an axe, and how to do all that stuff. So what I love about your character, Medina, is that she brings a lot of authority to the movie in the first one. I mean, she becomes like I don't know, no offense, like this little pris girl into this badass chick swinging axes and wearing Doc Martens of all things, which is very expensive boots, by the way. But though,
I think they were knockoff, but yeah, not on our New
so
Zealand. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you could tell us, if you could tell, which is a big if, does she do the same thing in the sequel?
She steps it up. I would say she has been on that trajectory from the first movie of like, following her own career. She's got ambition, she's got drive. I think that's the biggest difference between sort of Zach Brody versus Medina. Like Medina's got her shit together. And I think that's what's frustrating in the sense of she thinks they're actually really talented and can do really well. And that's kind of the demise, right? It's like, not to be sexist here, but that classic, like, woman's got it together. We could organize this. We could actually go really far. And the boy's just dropping the ball. So I think that's sort of where we meet her in the second film is like starting from that point of just being over it.
So a new
Which is
version
a
of
fun
Xena. I
place
love
to
it.
start a film and just being ex completely at capacity. So yeah.
So, Medina is Xena reborn. Just
Shit, yes. That should be the quote on the movie. Let's make it. Xena Reborn. Hell yeah. Move over, Lucy Lawless.
sorry, Lucy. I love you, but it's time to
I
go.
love Lucy too. She's such an icon. I had the pleasure of working with her once, and I feel like the whole time I was just googly eyeing her, like,
Who didn't like Lucy Lawless, man? Who?
she's
So,
amazing.
so,
My God.
so in terms of the films, both films, was there too much blood and too much testosterone for you in both movies, or was it the right level?
Oh, no, never too much blood, never too much testosterone. I think it's perfect. We do introduce some additional female characters in the second movie, which is really, really cool. And cool for Medina to have someone to audibly eye roll with, which is really great. Um, I think the best thing I will say about the second film is that all the cast, the core cast, were able to come and be part of it. And the addition of so many, I have to be very careful with my words here, so many sort of guest stars that come in who are from, really pivotal people in the heavy metal community to wrestlers to fans. There's some big names in this film. I don't know if they've been announced yet that like every day we're like, oh God, this is so crazy that this person is here who's like gagging to be here because they were so obsessed with the first film. So ridiculous. So I think when you're making a movie and it's so full of heart, and I will say this to the second film as well, because we just did it, like the crew were fans as well. And that makes a real difference. When you're working till like 4, 5 in the morning, people are doing like prosthetics from like 11 a.m. to like 3 a.m. The team that were on those sort of rigs and those prosthetics was so amazing. But they were all fans of the music and fans of the film. So it kind of made this like, it was like being at school camp, where everyone's like, we don't want to go back to our real lives, like this is just a little slice of delight. You would have loved it. You should have been there. Let's do another one. You'll come back for the next one. But I think you know what I'm saying. Like when you're with a community of people who are all plugged in for the same goal, it doesn't mean that making a film is really hard. The hours, the stress, stuff always goes wrong. So to be able to be with people who can pivot, to me, like I'm just getting all warm and fuzzy thinking about it because not every experience is like that. And this was something special. And the fact that it was crowdfunded, like that fans wanted it so much, like that brings a whole different lens to this experience, right? Like people invested financially to make this thing happen. I don't take that lightly. That's pretty bloody cool.
I get it because when I spoke to Milo a couple years ago, and I asked him like because at the first in the first movie, there's like a hint that it's gravitating towards okay, there's gonna be a sequel because you hear Zach's voice on the record, and he's like, I can't tell you anything. We don't know anything yet. I was like, that really sucks because I would love to see a sequel, and bam, there's a sequel coming out. And pardon my language, I almost shit my pants when I find out there's a sequel coming out. So
Well, so did we. Milo and I found out because there was a Deadline article. We're like, is this true? Because obviously, yes, we knew Jason was writing one, but we didn't know if it was gonna happen, right? Like you always hope when you make something great, you want to do it again, of course. But yeah, we found out when everybody else found out. I was like to Milo, I'm like, do you know anything about this? He's like, not yet. And I was like, great, I guess we're making a movie. Let's go. Which is
And the
pretty cool.
best part is they're bringing you and Milo back, which is awesome because I was hoping and say if they do make a sequel, it's like bring back Medina, bring back Brody, and bring back Zach. I don't. Is Zach coming back? Yeah, does Zach come back? I can't remember. Is he in the trailer? I don't remember seeing Zach. But you're
I can't
smiling.
say
But you're
anything.
smiling.
Don't make me say anything. I'm
Okay,
not saying
I'm
anything.
very presumptuous of me. I apologize. Okay,
That's
so
okay. We'll leave people wanting more.
so besides what you just told me about what's coming in the sequel, what else can you say that you're allowed to say? I know it was filmed both in New
I
Zealand
can
and
say
Canada.
yes.
So
Yes, we filmed predominantly in Regina in Canada, which is hilarious because it rhymes with vagina.
vagina. I'll say it. Yeah, I don't
Really
care.
funny to us. Like, I don't know. I feel sorry for, I'm like, people there, I guess they're exhausted by it. They don't care. We had the mayor come to set. Like, we're here, like, using sexual paraphernalia to kill, like, professional wrestlers, and the mayor of Regina showed up. I'm like, surely we could have picked another scene for the mayor to come, but whatever. Um, I will say that, what can I say? We got to do some pretty amazing performances, which to like kind of like maybe sprinkle a bit of idea on what the plot of the film might be around this like heavy metal thing. Um, I got to do a performance, which is hilarious. I lost my voice. I tried to learn from Matt Heafy how to like not lose your voice. There is a lot of death.
Is it
And
bloodier and gorier?
it is. That would be the biggest thing. There's just blood everywhere. It's like a full massacre times 10. Bloody Angoria is probably a much more succinct way for me
Okay.
to answer that question.
And our sex toys being brought back in as well, because that's
Of
what makes
course.
Deathgasm.
Of course. It wouldn't be Deathgasm without.
Wow. So, okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing this now. October or okay, I don't know if it's coming out October or not, but I know it's coming out in the fall. Um, and I cannot wait to see this because I'm going to call out sick, pretend I'm sick to go see it in the theater, just because
Yeah,
I've done that numerous times. Just saying. Not
good.
recently. I haven't done it a couple of years, but just my if my boss is watching this, I'm kidding. I'm not going to call out sick. So
What was the most recent movie you've done that with?
I'm sorry. The
Like
most
what
recent one.
that
Um,
you were like, I gotta be there on opening night.
I think it was Exorcist the Believer when it
Okay.
first came out. So I called out sick. This is like 3 years ago when it first came out. So
Yeah.
since I started a new job since then, I haven't called out sick yet. So
It'll just be weirdly convenient timing. It's got nothing to do with Deathgasm coming out. Yeah, I think that we're supposed to know soon because I do know that some people were in Cannes like doing some distribution stuff for it. So it's I don't know. So I can say hand on my heart, I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but I know that it's soon. I know it's finished and I know it's soon.
also rumor has it that Deathgasm II is expected to debut at film festivals this autumn. Is that true?
I believe that that possibly could be how it will be premiering. Yes, but again, I don't know that for certain. That's what I'm hoping because that means I'll get to go. I'll get to see it with everyone for the first time, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. So, what is next on your agenda? What's next for you now that Deathgasm is finally two has finally finished filming? What's coming up with you?
What is coming up? I'm actually doing another movie with Jason and one of the producers, which is another horror movie, which I'm really excited about. That I think will get announced in a few weeks. I've got a new show out in New Zealand at the moment called Homebound, which just got picked up by the ABC as well in the UK. It's half in Chinese, half in English. It's a really funny funny, beautiful, like rom-com on steroids TV show. And a show in New Zealand called The Educators, where I got to play a policewoman, which I've never had. I never get to do like proper jobs in acting. Probably like no one would believe that I could be a cop, myself included. And my husband, he's like, "You're playing a cop." I was like, "Well, it's a comedy. Like, obviously not a real cop. What am I going to do? Don't do that." Like, just wouldn't, I wouldn't be very threatening. Um, so yeah, so those are kind of the main things that I've got sort of coming up and coming out, which is really cool. And I'm actually going to go to my first convention. So if anyone's in Milwaukee in September, I would love to meet people. I think it's September 12th or 13th. I'm going uh, as a Power Ranger, but obviously if there's any Deathgasm fans that are in Milwaukee who want to come and say hi or get anything signed, that would be really cool. So it'll be sort of my first experience doing something like that and going to the Midwest. So um, for something like this, I've been there before shooting a film with the Green Bay Packers, but this will be a little bit different. So it'll be cool.
We need to bring you up to the East Coast for
Do it.
conventions. That'd be
Figure it
great. So
out, Ben. You tell me when and I'll be there.
Monster Mania is the biggest convention here on the East Coast.
Okay, when's
So they have the hugest stars, these biggest names, and I think they have you, Milo, and God, who plays Zach? Who plays Zach? What's his name?
You'll have to figure that out.
Okay,
I don't want anyone to Google it because they might read something that's going to be that I don't
so
want them to read.
well, at least have you and Milo come to the East Coast for conventions. I'm gonna talk to Doug Hagen, who runs Monster Mania, and see if I can get you guys to come out.
Shit,
Because,
yeah.
geez, guys, because if you guys come for a whole weekend, I guarantee your line will be long as hell. So, um, you'd be surprised how the people that the stars that these people get for the conventions. They got, oh my God, this past one was great. So, anyway, um, any advice for any aspiring actresses who want to be in the same place as you that you can give them?
Oh my gosh, I'm always hesitant to give advice. There's so many people giving advice out there, but what I will say is like if anyone who's creative feels stifled or blocked or discouraged by the state of the industry or whatever, I would recommend reading The Artist's Way. It's just a great way to kind of get out of your own way and enjoy being creative to be creative. I think for me, I've been really lucky. I'm obsessed with what I do, so I don't really have a plan B or an alternative because I don't want to do anything else. And I think sometimes that delusion and that drive has been what keeps me going and keeps me working because I'm too bloody stubborn to not, like I will strangle every fucking opportunity till I'm on set because all I want to do in my life is be on set and live between action and cut. That's my euphoria. That's like where I get to play, where I get out of my own head and just feel in a full state of flow. So just be obsessed with what you do. That would be my advice to anyone. If you're gonna do it, fucking do it. Like don't half-ass anything.
Well said. I love it. I love it.
Like
Just
you've
fucking
gone
do it.
all in on horror. I love it. Yeah, it's so good, right? But I'm sure it brings you a lot of joy. Life's too short. Have fun.
And the best part is my wife and I go to conventions together. So we
Oh,
both earn the horror. And this past one, she's been amazing. I mean, this past one, she paid for the hotel, she paid for the trip, and
shit,
it was
yeah.
in Baltimore. So it was like an hour, 2 hour drive away. So I mean, she is a phenomenal person, and I love her to the world, to the moon and back. She's just great because she supports me a lot.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah.
Beautiful. Good. Find good people. Fall in love. Live happily ever after. Done. Love it.
And, you've been great. Thank you so much for joining me today. You're an awesome actress. Please keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever change because you're amazing and you're phenomenal. And you play Medina so well in these movies. And for those who have not seen Deathgasm, please check it out. It is now to feed your horror comedy compulsion. Please watch Deathgasm on Tubi, Plex, Amazon, and other streaming services. That way, you can prepare yourself for the sequel when it comes in the fall, and you'll know what you're getting into. So, with that being said, thank you for joining me again. You've been a wonderful guest, and I wish you nothing but the best luck in your future and your career. I'm going to spread the word about your convention in Milwaukee and your TV show Homebound as much as I can. So,
you. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me. What a pleasure. You're so good at this, and it's such a joy. Hopefully I'll do a million more horror films and get to talk to you often.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really does. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the beautiful, the talented. Oh shit. Sorry, Kimberley Crossman. I almost called you Medina.
You can call me Medina. I'll answer to her. Shit, yeah.
Kimberley Crossman. Check her out in Deathgasm and her other shows coming up. You've been wonderful. And again, thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Ben.